Don't you dare talk back, you lazy piece of shit. You can't even cook properly. You are of no use to me. Next time you serve a blistered food to me, you'll meet your fate of divorce. You need to be taught a lesson. Mind you, if you repeat this carelessness, that will be the end of your happy married life. How dare you talk back to me? The next time you open your mouth, I'll shove in divorce papers on your face. My husband threatened me with a divorce after every small argument, so I decided to give him what he deserved. Hello, my name is Maria. I'm a 45-year-old housewife and mother of two beautiful children. This is my story of revenge on my husband Kevin, with whom I've been married for the last 20 years. We both were fun-loving, happy individuals in our early married days. Soon after my first kid, Glenn, was born. I left my job and became a full-time stay-at-home mom. After 2 years, I was blessed with a second child, Sam. They both have grown up now and are studying in college. I've dedicated all these years of my life to my husband and kids, managing the house and taking care of every need and want of the kids and my husband. Sometimes I feel that I have lost my identity. Over these years, running a race to become a perfect housewife to my husband and a perfect mom to my kids. Things were different from what it is now. Neither was I this timid and unambitious woman, and neither was Kevin this rude and a cruel man. A few years of our marriage were good when the kids were small and we were young. I failed to spot the time when exactly things started going south. I guess it was a gradual one. Kevin is a businessman and he's mostly busy with his work. I didn't complain about this because he was paying for the lifestyle for me and my kids. My kids went to the best school. They got the best education. We got the best food on our tables, and we went to the best places in the world for vacation. So if I had to give up on Kevin's time in exchange for all of these, I guess it was a fair deal. Kevin often missed important events of the kids, their parent-teacher meetings, their school's annual day, and sometimes even their birthdays. I console the kids, giving the same reason I gave to myself. Dad is busy with his work, darling. But don't worry, Mom is here as always. Dad is always busy. He doesn't have time for us. He works very hard to give us all the comfort. Let's support him, okay? Okay, Mom, you always take his side. Kevin's absence in most of the family events was concerning, although I tried my best to fill the gap so that the kids don't get affected. On the other hand, Kevin's attitude got colder with me. He left no opportunity to ridicule and belittle me. I bit my tongue and ignored this for most of the time until the conversation was between us. Things took an ugly turn when Kevin started criticizing me in front of the kids. It was a usual day when I was helping Kevin pack his business trip, and suddenly he started screaming at me. What the hell, Maria? Why is this suit not ironed properly? Oh, I think it got wrinkled while keeping it inside the closet. I'll iron it now. You spend the entire day sitting idle at home. Can't you take care of these things? This is ridiculous. I'm getting annoyed by your carelessness now. Sam was lying on the couch and he heard all of this. He couldn't bear Kevin's harsh words and he said, Dad, Mom works very hard for the whole day. How could you yell at her like this? Kevin was aghast at Sam's words. After a few moments of shock, he snapped at Sam. Don't interfere in your parents' matters. Get up and go to your room. Sam gave an angry look at Kevin. To kill the tension in the air, I jumped in. Sam, go and study in your room. I'll get you the breakfast in some time. Sam rolled his eyes and left. It was embarrassing for me when Kevin yelled in front of my son. I mean, the kids learn what they see. Kevin's temper was becoming harder and harder to deal with. His snarky remarks were getting on my nerves. Gradually, I and both my kids started hating Kevin's presence in the house. We waited for him to go to the office so that we could have a peaceful day at home. His business trips were a vacation for us. Kevin was always cranky when he was at home. The only time we would see him in a good mood was during his monthly house party. Kevin hosted a monthly party at our house for all his officials, business partners, close friends, and key members of the team. Needless to say, it was me who had to organize these every single month. It was fun earlier when Kevin used to partake in organizing events. We used to lay out the whole plan together, meticulously design the theme, finalizing the menu along with thousands other details. I had a gala time organizing this event with him. But over time, as Kevin's attitude changed and he got busier, the entire responsibility of this party came to me. It wasn't a big deal, though, as it was a monthly activity and I knew exactly what to do. But one thing which was bothering me now was Kevin's criticism. He criticized me for every tiny thing. Suddenly, he hated my choice of food, cutlery, decoration, and everything else. While the guests would thank and appreciate me for hosting them, Kevin's remarks would be mostly this: "The flower decoration is just so horrible. Why didn't you check this when it was done? The shrimp is not cooked properly. Did you check this when it was delivered? There isn't enough ice cream for the drinks. Why didn't you order more? You've ordered way too much spaghetti. You like wasting food, don't you? The puddings are way too sweet. None of the guests liked it." I was getting exhausted by his constant poking. I just kept a brave face in front of the guests so that no one could suspect our troubled marriage. It was after one such party that I decided to put a halt to Kevin's criticism and confront him. After all the guests were gone and Kevin was in his usual self, criticizing every minute thing of the party, I approached him. "Don't you think that you've been insulting me way too much these days? I mean, I'm doing everything to organize the best party for you and your guests. You don't even help me with the arrangements. Neither you have ever appreciated me for this. But the least you could do is not criticize me over trivial things." Appreciate? Do you want an appreciation for organizing a party? Do you want me to honor you with a medal? Kevin was on with his game of tasteless humor, but I decided to give him back this time. "I don't expect anything nice from you, but at least stop traumatizing me. Do you know how disgusting you sound?" Kevin began his ceaseless rants. "My intellect would disgust only a fool. You are leading this lifestyle on my income. You could wear these expensive clothes and shoes because of me. You should be grateful to me for all of these." Kevin left no opportunity to count all the favors he did to me by providing for my food and clothing. But I had had enough, and now I wanted to give back. "You're not doing me any favor. I run the house. I have raised the kids, and I take care of every small detail of the house. You can't survive a day without me in this house. You don't even know how to do the laundry or where to get the groceries from. You don't need to be grateful to me, but at least stop digging at me all the time. You consider this, doing stupid laundry and dishes, as work? There are women out there who can manage both their work as well as their house seamlessly. They are beautiful, smart, and intelligent women. They are efficient in their work as well as perfect in household chores. What are you? A lazy housewife who spends her day watching TV on the couch. Looks like you're too mesmerized by the working woman, aren't you?" Kevin turned pale as if he was caught red-handed. He lost his temper and yelled, "How dare you talk back to me? The next time you open your mouth, I'll shove in divorce papers on your face." I was in shock. I didn't see this coming. I decided to put an end to Kevin's humiliation. I wanted to throw the divorce papers in his face and walk away from the marriage at that very instant. But I knew that my case is weak. I had no evidence of Kevin's monstrous behavior. I decided to gather evidence to show the evil side of Kevin to everyone. I meticulously planned everything. I was well aware of Kevin's daily routine and his trigger points, so I decided to install some hidden cameras in the living room and the dining space. The camera was set in a few days, and I began with my plan. The plan was to trigger Kevin so that he would react and his nuisance gets recorded. Kevin didn't need an extreme trigger. Even a 5 minutes late breakfast can instigate him to hurl abuses at me. One morning, I deliberately took extra time to serve breakfast. Kevin wants his breakfast to be served hot, as soon as he sits at the table. He sat at the table with the kids. Where the hell is the breakfast? Just 5 minutes, honey. Meanwhile, have the orange juice kept on the table. After 5 minutes. How long does it take to prepare a simple breakfast? I'm getting late for the work. It's almost done. Give me 2 minutes. Go to hell with your breakfast. I don't have bloody time to sit and wait for it. I rushed from the kitchen and served the sandwiches. The sandwich was roasted a little extra than usual. As soon as Kevin saw the sandwiches, he shouted, "The sandwich looks pathetic. You are serving me parched food." I picked up the sandwich deliberately to show on the camera and said, "It is not burned at all. It's just roasted for a minute longer. It's completely edible." Don't you dare talk back, you lazy piece of shit. You can't even cook properly. You are of no use to me. Next time you serve a blistered food to me, you'll meet your fate of divorce. He took his bags and stormed out of the house. Me and the kids rolled our eyes and enjoyed the sandwich in peace. After a few days, it was time to record another piece of evidence. Kevin was getting ready for work, and he was not able to find his socks in the closet. He came out to the living room, shouting at the top of his voice, "Where the hell are my socks? Why is it not kept in its usual place?" "I kept it in the other drawer with a handkerchief. My bad." He gasped with exasperation and went back to the room. After a second, he again came out yelling, "There is just one pair of socks. What happened to the rest of them?" "Well, they're dirty. I forgot to send the dirty clothes to the laundry yesterday. I'll do it today. Don't worry." "How can you be so careless about your work? You just have one work, which is to take care of the house, and you slack in that too." "Kevin, there's a fresh pair of socks for today. I'll clean the other pairs today. Why are you making such a fuss about it?" "It is not about the clothes. It is about the discipline." Why am I talking about discipline in front of a useless housewife?" "Why are you always so mean to me, Kevin?" "You need to be taught a lesson. Mind you, if you repeat this carelessness, that will be the end of your happy married life." Saying this, he slammed the door of the bedroom, got ready for work, and left the house. After he left for work, I locked the room and pulled out the camera to check if everything got captured properly. I recorded several instances of such abuse and gaslighting, which was enough to prove my horrendous marriage. Every time Kevin raised his voice at me, I wanted to walk away at that very moment, but I held back. I was patiently waiting for the monthly business party. I had planned a surprise for everyone. This time, I had collected enough evidence to prove my divorce appeal. But I didn't want such an easy escape for Kevin. I wanted to humiliate him in the same way as he does to me. As the event was nearing, I was planning for this big day bit by bit. The event is organized on the lawn outside our house, and this time I ordered a big screen setup. In the invitation email, I asked everyone to send a brief video clip of themselves talking about their favorite adventure in life, which would be played in the monthly event. These activities add fun to an event, and everyone, including Kevin, liked this idea. Yes, you guessed it correctly. I plan to play these recordings at his business party. Everyone in his company should know about Kevin's true color. On the day of the event, after setting up all the arrangements, I came to my room to get ready for the final shot. I took longer than usual to get ready. The guests started coming, and Kevin was alone on the lawn greeting the guests. I knew he would be triggered by this. He marched into the room where I was still getting ready and howled at me. "What the hell? What do you think you are? Are you a celebrity who needs so much time to get ready? No one is here to see your ugly face and your ugly makeup. So just get out of here and serve the guests." I didn't get angry at all. Instead, I was finally feeling happy that Kevin's true colors are going to be exposed in some time. "I'll be there in 10 minutes. 10 minutes? I want to see you outside in the next 5 minutes, or else you meet your fate of divorce today." "Sure thing. If you want a divorce so desperately, I'll fulfill your wish tonight." "What? What did you say? You'll divorce me? And who would feed you? Who would pay for your clothes? Don't put your foot in your mouth. Just get out of this room and serve the guests. I hurriedly went out and greeted everyone. I was genuinely enjoying the evening with everyone, while Kevin was being his usual self, criticizing every bit of the arrangements by sending me an angry look whenever he could. It was time for the fun activity. The setup was ready, and I played all the videos one by one that the guests had sent. While everyone was enjoying each other's video clips, I went to my room to gather the final footage, which I recorded that very evening. I realized that the camera placed in my room was still on. I opened the last recordings of the room to trim out the unnecessary part, and guess what? Something unexpected got recorded into the camera, which I'd never imagined. After I hurriedly came out of the room, leaving the hidden camera on, my husband sneaked into the room with his colleague who works in a senior position in his company. Although they switched off the light and nothing could be seen in the dark, the footage of them sneaking inside the room and switching off the lights was enough to throw hints of what happened there. And of course, the sound got captured. That was the last nail in the coffin. My body was shivering with anxiety. I was skeptical about whether to show this or not, but at that very moment, I heard a voice, which was of Kevin. "Why the hell are you in the room again? The projector screen has stopped displaying. Just go and fix it right away. The guests are waiting for it. The next time I find you resting in this room again during the party, I'll ensure that you get punished for your laziness." I didn't say a word, but I knew what I had to do. I went outside and fixed the screen and added all the footage to the playlist. I held the remote of the screen firmly in my hands as I wait for the horror show to begin. As the videos of the assault started, everyone's faces turned pale. They started staring at each other in shock. Kevin was having a gala time with his clients when he noticed himself on the screen, hurling abuses at me, gaslighting and humiliating me. Kevin was parched with anger and frustration. 7 hells broke loose on him that evening. He pounced on me. "Stop this right now!" He tried to snatch the remote from my hands, but in the presence of his business partners and clients, he could not do anything. It was my time to avenge the trauma and humiliation I was subjected to in all these years. This is just a trailer, the recordings of the full movie, which will be sent to the police. But let me show the climax to everyone. I told you that if you're so desperate about getting the divorce, you'll get it tonight. I fast-forwarded the video to the last footage, where Kevin was seen entering the room with the woman. I stopped the video right there. That glimpse was enough for everyone to understand what was happening. No one expected the evening to turn out like this. Kevin's mistress left the party in a hurry, hiding her face. Kevin locked himself in the bathroom to avoid the embarrassment. The air was filled with whispers and gossip. I broke down when some of Kevin's friends hugged me. Over the years, I made friends with them, and they tried to support me in this moment of weakness. I felt bad for my children that they had to undergo this trauma, but to my surprise, they patted me, saying, "Well done, Mom. I'm so proud of you. I'm glad you stood for yourself, finally. Yeah, let's go. We can't stay here any longer." I had already packed everything for me and my children. I knew that we couldn't stay in that house after this event. I went to my parents' house. My dad passed away a few years ago, and my mom was living alone, so she was glad to host us. Besides, my dad had left us a decent inheritance, which was enough for us to lead a happy life. I hired my father's lawyer and sent the divorce terms to Kevin, claiming the alimony and share in his business along with the child support. During the trial, Kevin gave me a disgruntled look as if he would dismantle my bones if he got the slightest chance. Kevin tried to sue me on charges of defamation, but it was overruled because my claims were true. It took a year for the divorce and the cases to be settled. I got the alimony and the child support. After that incident, many of his friends and colleagues reached out to offer support to me. They were shocked to see Kevin in such a monstrous avatar. He lost his reputation in front of his business partners and clients. Needless to say that his business suffered because of this, and his employees looked down upon him. Kevin and his mistress had no intention of marrying each other. They were just having fun by cheating on their partners. Soon, this news reached the mistress's husband, and she was shown the door by her husband. My objection was not to harm anyone. I only wanted to expose the evil side of Kevin to the world and stand up for myself and my kids. I want that my kids learn the value of loyalty and self-respect. It is a matter of a few years before my kids will be grown up and will take charge of their life. Until then, we are living with my mother like a happy family.